Disclaimer. The following video is strictly my opinion. Please don't hate on the video because my opinions don't match yours. I know that's what the internet likes to do, but sometimes people on the internet are idiots. I also have no intention of offending the content in question, the people who made the content, or the content's fan base. Without further ado, enjoy.
Hi, I'm Steven. You probably guessed that by the name of the channel. And yes, everyone, the rumors are true. I have legs! Have you ever wanted to cut someone out of your life because of something very minuscule they did that doesn't affect your life as a human being as a whole? Well, do I have the game franchise for you. The Mario Party franchise is astronomically infamous for ending almost 69 million relationships since the ancient times of 1998. And throughout the course of that time, there have been many variations on the game. There have been many mini-games, many boards, whatever in God's name this is. And you know, I've played about half of these Mario Party games, so that totally means I'm qualified to rank all of them for a video. But before we start, I am once again obligated by my non-existent lawyer to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel, because I work really hard on these videos, and I would really appreciate it if you guys help me support my craft. Oh yeah, and do all of these things as well. Yeah, these are also important. But anyways, let's just jump into... Nobody even knows this one exists. But it's on the wiki. I mean, this isn't even a proper Mario Party game. This is a card game. What was Nintendo thinking? Okay, here we go. The first actual Mario Party game. Is it good? Nope! Mario Party Top 100 is bad. It's a mini-game collection. There's like one board in this game, if you can even call it that, and despite it being called the Top 100, there's no way that these are the universal Top 100 minigames in Mario Party. I mean, come on, 3 minigames from 8. Are you shitting me right now? There were so many better options. Like, come on, name me one person who would willingly play The Beat Goes On, or Dizzy Rotisserie, or Goomba Bowling. Goomba Bowl! Look, I know I said nobody knew Mario Party E existed, but I somehow remember this one less than the card game. Star Rush is one of those Mario Party games that was being created when the series was being experimented with a lot. And I feel like for this game in specific, they just fished out all the rejected ideas out of the garbage can and jammed it into the code because they were under the ideology that more things to do equals a better game, which is not how game design works in the slightest. None of these games follow the traditional Mario Party formula, and the one that resembles it the closest somehow doesn't understand the concept of taking turns. It was during this point in my research that I found out that ND Cube, the company that develops all the modern Mario Party games, is the same company that made Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Which, yep, that checks out. Yeah, if you couldn't tell by how this list is going so far, all of the 3DS Mario Parties were kind of ass. This one was the least ass. If I could replicate Nintendo's thought process for Island Tour for how this game came to be, I feel like it would be, hey, Nintendo fans, do you remember this company? This was the company that made Wii Party. And do you remember that game in Wii Party that you guys really liked? Well, what if we made that game again, but with Mario characters? And worse. They don't even try to hide it. All of the boards in this game are just retextured and shittier versions of Board Game Island. Or, you know, Highway Rollers if you played Wii Party U as a child. I feel like it's also worth mentioning that this is the last Mario Party to have a single-player campaign, which is kind of a bad game to go off of because there's not really a proper ending to it. Yeah, after you defeat Bowser, he just kind of goes, nope, f you, get you baited, Uno reverse card, and then sends you back to the beginning. Which, by the way, Bowser's big bad plan in this game involves a bubble machine. But it's not just any bubble machine, it's a bubble machine of evil! Man, Bowser needs to retire. Imagine a world, if you will, where multiplayer games didn't exist. What would Mario Party look like then? It would probably be a single-player campaign with only 4 characters to choose from. And instead of rolling a dice to collect stars and coins, you now roll a dice to help NPCs with their tedious and annoying problems. You are now entering The Twilight Zone. What do you mean that game already exists?
Steven, it came out in 2005.
So I just did a Twilight Zone parody for nothing? What the hell? Full honesty, Mario Party Advance does have some good elements in it. It's just that those elements would work better in a game that isn't Mario Party. But despite its many flaws, this is the best game in the franchise that doesn't have the traditional Mario Party skeleton to it. Also, you drive around in a shoe. Yeah, the fact that you have to drive around in something to move kinda sucks. Let's hope they don't bring this mechanic back. They brought the mechanic back, and they made it worse. The car gimmick in both 9 and 10 is pretty bad, but 10 is where it stands out more because of just how much worse the game is. The only time people actually get freedom of movement is in Amiibo Party. And come on, nobody played Amiibo Party. I mean, I did, but that's beside the point. Not to mention the fact that Bowser Party exists. They really didn't think through the balancing issues of this mode. I will defend this game though. The mini games are actually pretty fun, and I'm not just saying that because of nostalgia. A lot of these mini games are really well made. But even with that huge aspect of the game, this game is still very flawed. I mean, I knew that, but I still sunk like 100 hours into it because I had no friends in middle school. And yeah, there was no one who would actively hang out with me. I was lonely as a child. I think one of the many things that people like about the Mario Party series is the freedom of choice with choosing the character that you play. You know what kind of player you are. You got your Yoshis, you got your Donkey Kongs, you got your Waluigis, characters that people really enjoy playing. But with Super, they just threw all that right out the f***ing window. You stupid idiot, you can't just choose a character you like. Mario Party is all about strategy, despite being 90% luck-based. So instead, we're going to give the characters special dice with different numbers on them. So either you choose your favorite characters, or you lose. Oh wait, you chose Donkey Kong? Oh, okay, you're gonna win. Joking aside, I think the special dice in this game for each of the characters works a lot better on paper. Translation, this mechanic is unbalanced as hell. Not to mention the fact that the boards are super generic, the minigames are pretty mediocre. You can only use Joy-Con motion controls. And the game can feel very long if you're not playing with the right players. But if you still think that the dice are a good idea after playing this game for an extensive amount of time, let me ask you this. Did you know that this game has a f***ing tier list? Looking back at how the series started, I think the original Mario Party was one of the pioneers of multiplayer party games. And like all pioneers, it didn't start out perfect. They nailed the Mario aesthetic perfectly, and a lot of these boards are really fun to play, but my God, are a lot of these minigames hit and miss. A vast majority of the 1v3 minigames are super imbalanced. Some of the 4-player minigames are just not fun to play at all. And do I even need to mention the joystick spinning minigames? Nintendo really thought this disclaimer in Superstars would save their asses. But for some reason, I think Nintendo wants people to forget that this Mario Party existed, because when I looked up oldest party video game on Google, Mario Party 2 came up. And the box art provided was Mario Party 3. This image is not Photoshop, by the way. Okay, it's that time. It's time for the most controversial placement in this video. Mario Party 9. I think a lot of people only hate this game because it's the first one to have the car gimmick. And while I do hate it, I think it's really unfair to this game. I mean, yes, the car gimmick is dumb and is a huge part of the game, but again, it's only one part of the game. There's the fact that the dice only go up to 6 instead of 10, and the board layouts are definitely board layouts. But to this game's credit, there is a solid selection of minigames, if you actually get to play them. Yeah, for some reason, instead of having it so that way there's a minigame after everyone's turn, you need to land on a space in order to trigger a minigame, which makes sense for the car gimmick, but it's still one of the many reasons wrong with the car gimmick. Seriously, f*** this car. This isn't Mario Party, this is a bunch of bullshit! Why would Hudson Soft actively do something like this? This is Oh, Hudson Soft went bankrupt before this game released. That explains a lot. I mean, at least they have Goomba bowling. Whenever someone mentions Mario as a franchise, the first series that comes to my mind is Paper Mario. Trust me, this is related to the video. And you know, while everyone hails the second as the best, people forget that the first one was just as good. It had a really good plot with Mario running around the Mushroom Kingdom trying to save the Star Spirits in order to stop Bowser. Speaking of Star Spirits, did you know that they hosted Mario Party that one time? Before I start talking about this one, rip in peace, Donkey Kong fans, you won't get your boy back until the shittiest mainline game. Mario Party 5 is that weird Mario Party that did something new with the capsule gimmick, and it both works and doesn't work at the same time. Like with the 1v3 minigames in Mario Party 1, the capsules in 5 feel very unbalanced. Mostly because that you can't buy them. Aside from that, I feel like this one has the weakest selection of minigames in the entire franchise, with most of them being either luck-based or smash the button so hard that you break your f***ing controller. I mean, aside from that, the boards are decently creative, with all of them being based around dreams? Is that why they put the Star Spirits in this game? Damn. At least when I used them, I had a purpose. Mario Party 7. Okay, moving on. Okay, joking aside, there's actually a lot to say about this game. I guess you could say the main attraction is the 8-player party mode, but let's be real, it was just a beta version of Smash 4 for Mario Party. Aside from that, I think it has some of the better mini-games in the franchise if you don't count the mic mini-games, and I think about half of these boards are fun to play. I personally think these ones are done better in other entries. What I don't think is done better is Bowser's reason for being Bowser in this game, because my god is it stupid. The only reason Bowser commits acts of terrorism against Mario and his friends is because he got salty that he wasn't invited on a cruise. Bitch, let them have fun by themselves for once. You get invited to golf and tennis and go-karting. Okay, Bowser might actually have a good point with this one. It took them 14 years to get back to normal. What the f*** took so long? Oh. God bless democracy! As of this video coming out, Mario Party Superstars is the newest game in the franchise, and the fans loved it. It features 5 boards from the original N64 games. It has a better top 100 minigames than the top 100. Not to mention the fact that this is the highest rated game in the series on Metacritic. So where do I stand? I think it's fine. While I do appreciate the return to form, I feel like there were some much better boards to choose from throughout the franchise. And while the minigame selection in this one is better than in the top 100, I still feel like there should have been 10 minigames from each game, because there is a very uneven ratio. How are there even less minigames from 8 in this one? And why are they both 2v2? But in all seriousness, thank God this game exists. I would have thrown hands if I had to deal with the fucking car again. You know, it's surprising to me that despite Mario Party 8 being the 3rd best-selling game of the series, selling almost 5 million more units than 9, this is still the lowest rated mainline Mario Party game. How? How do you up this badly, Metacritic? If you somehow haven't guessed by the plethora of jokes about it in this video, 3 minigames from 8. Why are they both 2v2? By the 2 jokes about it in this video, Mario Party 8 was my introduction to the series, and while it's not the best one out of all of them, I could not have chosen a better one to start off with because I f***ing adore this game. Not only did it take board concepts from 7 and improve upon them greatly, but this is my favorite selection of boards in the entire franchise. You got Perplex Express, Tycoon Town, Goomba Board, Space Flavored Snowflake Lake, Bullshit RNG board. I don't care what anyone says, Haunted Hideaway is a fun board. Not to mention, the mini games are absolute fire in this one. None of them fall flat. Except for that one. And that one. And that one. Okay, now you're just making me look bad. Yeah, well, this is my favorite Mario Party. I need to bring up the one glaring problem that holds it back quite a bit. The motion controls suck ass. But it's not the game's fault. See, this Mario Party in specific was made during that transitional period between the GameCube and the Wii. And so Hudson Soft had this game all set up to get on the GameCube. But then Nintendo essentially told them,
ねえ、いくつかのモーションコントロールに取り組みます。これは Wii 用にリリースしています。
宮本さん、今私を排便していますか?
But despite the motion controls, I had a blast playing this game as a child, and I still love it now. But did Metacritic really have to rank the f***ing car higher? Ever since the release of Mario Party 3, Nintendo fans wondered when the downfall of Mario Party was going to happen, because they were scared it was going to be like one of those Star Wars scenarios. Thankfully, with the next game, that didn't happen. As the first Mario Party on the GameCube, Mario Party 4 definitely brought along some good improvements, specifically in the graphics department. Like, I know this released on the GameCube, but god damn, this shit looks better than 9! I do think there are too many luck-based events that slow the game down in the long run, specifically in the board that influences gambling addiction. But despite what a lot of people think, it's got some pretty original ideas for boards and a super solid collection of minigames, with possibly one of the best button-mashing minigames in the entire series. I will fight someone on that, shut the f*** up. And it's got some pretty solid theming as well, with the Mario Party being a birthday present, meaning that it's an actual Mario Party. But that does raise the question of whose birthday they're actually celebrating, and if we look at the available roster and the day that the game was released, I'm going to say the time of looking this up, it's Wario. Why are they celebrating Wario's birthday? He is a wanted criminal and he tried to murder Mario with baseball. He should be in Guantanamo Bay for his crimes! You guys know the old saying, if at first you don't succeed in your craft, just do it again but better. You dip. Mario Party 2 took what the first game did and smoothed out the hundreds upon hundreds of rough edges that the original game had. It made a bunch of improvements on the original game, including better 1v3 balancing, some really amazing boards. It got rid of all the joystick minigames because of lawsuits and glove manufacturing. And oh my god, the item system. They made an item system. Oh, thank the Lord, we can finally ruin more friendships by spilling our tea and crumpets on the control. What the hell am I saying? My only real nitpick with this game is how the mini games are kinda lazy. This Mario Party in particular has 65 mini games, which is a good amount for a Mario Party, but instead of, you know, coming up with 65 original ideas, they just took about a third of the mini games from Mario Party 1 and copy and pasted it into the code and then f***ed around with the textures, which, as a former computer science major, I hate that, but I also approve of it because that's kind of what we're trained to do. But that's not to undermine the sheer amount of stylizing done to this game, because exclusive to Mario Party 2, all of the characters have costumes specific to the board that you're playing, and the item minigames are stylized as well. Oh my god, there are item minigames. Oh, thank the Lord, we could finally f*** over our friendships with Boo Bells and Bowser suits. Oh, what a glorious day this is. God save the Queen. I'm gonna move on before this gets too weird. This is the best handheld Mario Party. I mean, does this really even come as a surprise to you? DS was the last good Mario Party before, you know, bankruptcy. And surprisingly, the Mario Party out of all of them with the most consistent theme to it. Basically, the plot consists of strange object falls from the sky. Bowser invites Mario to dinner. Everything looks fine, but oh no, fake anti-piracy screen that took the internet by storm, and then Bowser shrinks you, instead of, you know, actively trying to kill you. And then Bowser throws you out, and now the game has become Mario Party, Shadow of the Colossus. Okay, I know I said that as a joke, but that would actually be really fun to play. So now you are small, and the game just writes itself. Despite the really low character roster compared to other entries, this one has some killer mini games that take advantage of the theming, and also my favorite Bowser board in the entire series, bar none. Why wouldn't I want to fight for my life inside of a giant pinball machine? And then proceed to fight the embodiment of Tetris. The only real gripe I have with the game is that the multiplayer is kind of jank. because it ran off of software that I don't even remember existing. But let's be real here, Mario Party as a franchise was always meant to be played with one player. I mean, who really plays this with friends, right? Right? Have I been playing Mario Party wrong this entire time? Oh my god. Let's do a little bit of a hypothetical. Let's say you have a large sum of money that you need to pay to the government because tax evasion. And let's also say the IRS calls you up and says,
okay, you have two options. You can either send us the money or we send in Plan GG.
And obviously, because you don't want to pay the money, you say, I ain't paying you shit. Come on, hit me with your best shot. What is this Plan GG that you have? And then suddenly, there's a knock on your door. You walk to the door, you open it, and this Billy the Puppet looking motherfucker is standing there being all like,
I want to play a game with you.
It is at this moment that you wake up and realize that you've been hallucinating the entire experience because you've played too much Mario Party 3. Mario Party 3 is the best Mario Party from the N64 era by a landslide. It improved the item system from 2, the graphics got a huge upgrade, and it has some pretty fun boards like Woody Woods, Spiny Desert, and the Island of And this is also the first Mario Party to include the main man himself. Now you might be thinking,
wow, this game is flawless. Surely there's not anything wrong with it. Well,
I'll give the story mode a little bit of slack because it is the first Mario Party to have a single player campaign, but it's not as good compared to some other ones in the franchise. I think that's mostly because that Bowser is not the final fight, which kind of throws me off because Bowser is in this game, and he wants to be painted like one of his French Koopas. Instead, you have to fight a literal 1,000-year-old star wearing a mustache, who's not actually 1,000 years old because he was an imposter. And the actual 1,000-year-old star is inside of a sentient six-sided die who hosts the game. You starting to see why this story's throwing me off so bad? I think it should be pretty obvious what number 1 is through process of elimination. Segue. Now I would like to point out that while my favorite number is 6, I'm not being biased at all. This is the best game in the franchise, albeit with a very ridiculous setup. Basically, Mario and the boys are hanging out, and then out of nowhere, the sun and moon start arguing about who is the better portion of the day-night cycle. One thing leads to another, and then bam, capitalism, like all arguments do. And you know, when you boot up the game, everything seems par for the course, but remember the day-night gimmick from Horrorland and Mario Party 2? Yeah, that's the gimmick for this entire game. The day-night cycle was pulled off phenomenally in this game. Not only does it give a really cool aesthetic to the game as a whole, but it also changes some of the board gimmicks and the objectives of mini-games as well. Take, for example, this mini-game. In the day, you go up. In the night, you go down. This is the peak of game design, everyone. I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but this is everything you want in a Mario Party. It's got great boards, a cool aesthetic, amazing mini games, and you win the day with the power of committing felonies of space-time. So yeah, Mario Party. It's definitely a series. While there are some really bad entries in the franchise that are either boring, stupid, or really frustrating, a vast majority of these games are really fun and enjoyable to play with friends. That is, unless you have the right batch of friends, because if you don't, there's gonna be a table flipped every 5 minutes for bullshit RNG luck. But even with all the highs and lows of the series, there's still one question that plagues my mind. How has Toad not been arrested for what is an obvious money laundering scheme? Do you want to know where all your stars and coins go at the end of Mario Party 1? They go right into Toad's little bank. And before you know it, he's going to ship this money off to Rogueport, he's going to get involved with the Pianta Syndicate, and before you know it, this is all going to become the Toad Father.